Hello everyone. So, today we're going to be jumping in and creating a... Let's just say creating a bit of a monster park. What we'll do is we'll just jump onto a square level. We'll just have that as that. What do we do here? We'll go for that, just as a creative thing. Keep no egg failures on. Dinosaur injuries, set that to off. Dinosaurs don't serve. Yeah. Dinosaur lifespan, we'll keep that as unlimited. I don't really fancy having to move dead animals out the way. Unlimited feeder reserves, yeah. Danger to guests, no. Dinosaur comfort off. Frequency off. Don't know what that means, but we'll leave that as all dinosaurs. Unlimited traits. I'll turn that on. Contracts, leave that off. Scientists off. Expeditions off. Research off. We'll put that on though, that's okay. Unlimited power, infinite fuel, yeah. Invincible vehicles, we'll keep that off. Sabotage rush off. Instant construction on. I'm just going to set it to day, I don't fancy doing a day-night cycle either. And let's just jump straight in. Server's not backward. Yeah, that's fine. We don't care. Right. So we need to figure out where we're gonna start with the entrance. Do we go for somewhere that's quite open, or do we go for this mountain back in here? Here could probably work. We'll start here. We'll just stick down a arrival point. Which one do we want? Let's go for this one. Kind of want it as out of the way as I can possibly get it. Let's have a look. We probably want some sort of visitor centre to begin with. Do we have one of those? Guided tour, lagoon view, aviary, zipline, viewing platforms. doesn't look to be. It's all enclosures. What about operations? No. Okay. Probably just go with an innovation centre to start that with. Let's put it. Let's put it quite close to that actually. And then I want a wide path. How big is that? Yeah, that one will do. I'm just going to go out to about there. I'm going to create a little bit of a... Now I want this one ever so slightly to come round a bit further out. Just to try and match the awkward-ish shape that we've been given by the Innovation Centre. Need to actually curve that round, that'd be a good start. Like that, that'll do. I also want a standard path that just leads down from here, so we'll go... and just connect that to there. Suppose that'll do for a main sort of entrance. We'll leave that sort of blank for the time being. Path doesn't match, which is kind of annoying. It's this one that I'm using, isn't it? It's a bit better, not perfect, but it's there. I also want some sort of command center up here, so we'll get... What does this one look like? Maybe not. What about this one? Yeah, we actually want to close the pack for the time being. Just because there's nothing actually in it just yet. Let's quickly get rid of all of these trees. just give it a bit more texture. It's a bit too in-your-face green, so we'll give it a little bit more of an outline around here, just to add a bit of texture to the area. And for these ones, I'm gonna fill it in with dirt because I am gonna do almost like a flower bed type design around here. That part's not wanting to change, okay. Let's go to the tree menu. No, it's the wrong one. What does the box look like? Get some fairly big ones. Just trying to find something that would look nice there. I was thinking maybe a gate, but I can't really find one. Bless me. That's what I was looking for. No, it's got its own light in there, it doesn't need any more. That's probably as close as I can get it there. Slightly annoying, but we'll deal with it. I've been placing in the wrong ones. Why? Does that look janky? Yeah. We'll see what else we can do there. Might just hold off on decorating that part for the time being. It's a 2T1, what's this? Spinosaurus skeleton there. And guess we're going for a Rex skeleton on the other side. In fact, what I'll do for the actual surrounding area here is, instead of trying to build a wall around it, I'll just make a wall. Oh god, no. Bit better. I don't really want it electric either. We'll go for that one. It's a little bit better of a curve. And then I want it to just come straight out here. I feel like the path's on a slight angle, just making it quite hard to get this right. Yeah, I think that looks alright. So I need to do the same but from the other side this time around. From about the middle. So I'll see if I can get as close to that as I can. That will do. Probably should have thought about that. Do need to be... I probably don't need to come out the back. Is there much room out the back? I suppose there is a little bit that I can make use of. So we'll get rid of this part here and that one. And hopefully we'll be able to build a path outwards here. Nope. I mean, this one will just be like a staff path anyways, because there's not going to be any need for civilians to go out that side. I mean, these are all just going to lead down here anyways. The other path that I may need a walkway for is this one here, so we'll just build that out there like that. That's going to have to do. And we want to come off of that. Be about the same place. If we can. And it's getting a little bit wider, but it's fine. The path wasn't perfect to begin with, so... That'll do. Got a little bit of decorating to do in this part, but we'll try and keep that short and sweet if we can. And I'm going to need something different for this little area here. Like that. Yeah. This is the reason I've done this on with unlimited money, is because it would cost an absolute fortune just to build the entrance alone. And actually what I could do here is do... will that fit? Well, put one of those on either side. Did go blue for me. Like that. I know it overlaps into the path a little bit, but that's something we can deal with. Just until we can't move the statue out of the way. Cool. That's fine. Let's get some ornamental shrubs in here. And we'll go ahead and do the same on the other side. Add a bit of grassy texture to these here. Just run through them, it should add just a tiny bit of grass and then not much of anything else, which is what we want. And now we need to go down to the rocks. Let's have a look at some of these. I want to create almost like a rockery going down here. Some of these get quite big, however, so try and keep them relatively small if we can. Do they all okay together? Yeah, fine. Just add a bit of flavour to it, and then if we can, what I'm going to do is put a tree in this corner here. Let's have a look if it'll let me. Just to kind of fill it out a little bit. Don't think it's going to let me with that rock in the way. That's as close as I can get to the actual innovation centre itself, which is a bit disappointing, honestly, but should be fine. Could go for some temperate trees. I think temperate would look alright then. Either temperate, autumn or normal temperate. I suppose we've got palm trees pretty much everywhere else, so we probably need to stick to the palm trees. Add a bit more of the foliage to it all. Let's have a look. Almost making it like a plaza, I suppose. And for this side, I need to do something similar, I suppose. So, how have we got that? The rock ones first. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to swap out that one and that one for one of these facing that side. And one of these facing this side. And then I'll just quickly switch over to the other side, do the same thing. So I kind of want to keep this part symmetrical to an extent. will admit playing this on console makes it quite difficult to do and play stuff where you really want it. And then for these last two sections here, I'm going to make them almost like a, what's the word? Almost like a picnic area. I mean, surely that's not obstruction, right? I mean, the red boxes are nowhere near each other there. Different type of seating on this side. Now I want to extend this across, probably down another block like so. And then we'll get to work on the main guest part, the guest facilities part. I'll go for larger minis straight off the bat. I'll get them as close to that as I can go. I'll do all of the faffing on with it later. Let's also get... Do we go for large hotels on this stretch? What does a small hotel look like? That's environment. Small hotel looks a little bit better, I'd say. Like that? Yeah, we'll go for that. Plant another one on the other side. And like that. I'm quite disappointed I can't get these overly straight. A lot of tapping buttons to try and get them as straight as possible. Are they actually connected to the path there? I don't think they are. And we weren't in their entirety, but we can fix that. So there we go, like so. Those are fine. Don't want them that close to the shops. Do I just go all out and do the amenities all the way down? Have got anything in attractions I can use here as well? Should do. I guess attractions. Let's put one of those in. Well, we'll put two of those in. I'm assuming there's many I can make out of it. What can I do? Ah, yeah, I can do plenty. So we'll do two of those on either side, similar to how we've done the shops, I suppose. Why not? And then what I'll do is I'll actually just swap to the large hotels, might as well. They don't even pose that much of a worse off area management, so it should be fine. So you come into the park, you've got all your amenities and your attractions here. Hotels at the end, monorail station. I know how transport works, game. Do that. Right, so first attraction I want somewhere near the actual main hub of all of this. I will go back through and decorate this a bit later on. I'm thinking we do quite a decent sized herbivore paddock. Bring it around here, make this sort of... In fact, what we should do first is a hatchery area. How much room have we got to play with? We've got quite a bit of room to play with actually. And a lot of shaded area down there. Okay. We'll do a small hatchery area over here. What the fuck's it just connected to there? Delete that. Right. That'll just allow us to incubate and hatch the dinosaur. In fact, we won't go like that with the fences. There's far too much space there. That'll do. So, this will be where we hatch, or where we incubate and hatch everything. Wrong path. Because I don't want to be taking up an unholy amount of space using one of those with most of the enclosures, so we'll just go for that for the time being. This path here probably don't actually need, to be fair. We'll keep it just in case anything does come up. In fact, let's do not that. Let's do this. Right, we said herbivores first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly approach this and add additional bays and accelerated growth. And then we will start... Oh, I don't actually know. Where should we start the herbivore paddock? I'm thinking we run the monorail down here. And it'll lead to another station over here somewhere. So I wonder if we just do quite a decent sized herbivore paddock just here. Will that work? It will. That's the... that one could work. They are only herbivores and we kind of want to make sure that they are visible. So if I start it here. Then we'll go on to paths. No, we'll go on to the terrain tool. Let's see if we do some sort of river. Should we start it about here? Swerve it down. It's too straight here, so get rid of that part, and then we'll switch back to this. And then we'll have it come off from up here as well. And then bring it down to about there. How big would that make the actual enclosure? Relatively big. But I mean, if we are going to have herds in here, we want it to be fairly big anyways. Hello, amazing Nate, welcome in. How's your day going? Yeah, not bad. I mean, it's been quite slow today, but it's been alright. Oh no, I've done the wrong thing. Kinda looks like it's raising up a little bit. I kinda want a little bit of a valley surrounding that bit of water there. So, try and represent that as best we can. The game's a bit funny, you can't connect water sources if they're not on the same level, which is a bit daft, but it's fine. It's as far over as I can go with that because we're right at the barrier there. I haven't yet, but I've seen pretty much every other streamer and YouTuber go on about it, so it's definitely on my watch list. I've heard they are adding like babies and stuff into it, so that should be fun. Should be easier to make more believable parks and scenarios. I mean, it's Frontier, so they're often making advancements in these sort of games anyways. I mean, I've played the Planet Zoo, that was made by them, and that was really good. They've added all sorts into that since they took over the license of it. That should be good. We'll go with that for the time being. I do want to smoothen this out though. It's quite a steep hill for it to be that close to the gate itself. Is that a bit better? A little bit. And then I feel like we should make this bit here almost like a bit sandy. Add a bit of sand in there. Give it a more aesthetically pleasing look. So I'm just trying to make a generalised park. I wanted to go for a more realistic-esque type park, because most of the parks that you get on the game aren't too easily easily done with making sure that your animals are visible and stuff like that. So I've turned off all of that, and I'm just trying to make a park that would be more beneficial, try and make the habitats look a bit more realistic, that sort of thing. It's just sort of a chill playthrough of the game. Get those quite close to the... not as close as I wanted. I'll add more forest to this bit here, just to finish that section off. I haven't turned the needs and stuff off for anything other than sort of hunger and thirst. So, from what I can remember, they will still require the correct habitat formation, but I'm just going to try and make it look a little bit more realistic in a sense. I mean, granted it's a dinosaur park, so it's not going to happen, but you can use your imagination. While we're doing this, I'm actually going to get some of those in for incubation, so... I want at least 2 large sauropods, so either Brachiosaur, Dreadnoughtus could be a good one. I only have 1 egg, they have 1 to 2. Patasaurs have 1 to 2. We'll go for Brachiosaurs to begin with. I will just get rid of the negative traits because there's no fun in that. We'll go with random ones per egg. We'll begin that task. Let's go for some Edmontosauruses in there as well. Don't think they have anything they can't vibe with. I know I can't put Triceratops and Stegosaurus in the same one. I can't even view it, can I? No. That's annoying. It's fine. I'm sure I've got a Hadrosaur somewhere. One of these guys. It doesn't say what they like. Okay, cool. That's fine. Yeah, we'll go for some Edmontosauruses. See whether we can get rid of some of them negative traits first. Everything else is fine. And let's just make those random as well. Save and exit, we'll begin those. Do I want... I'll do a separate enclosures for both trikes and stegos. I don't really fancy trying to work out who should go with who, but I know most of the ceratopsids don't necessarily like the stegos, so we'll keep them apart. Get some stroofies in there. Paras are always a good one. Paras will vibe with anything as well, I think. And then I need one more thing that'll vibe well in this one. Myosaur could do it. I've got Edmontosauruses. Should probably go for another smallish herbivore, I suppose. So I could go for maybe a Dracorex. Sauropod, Nicosaurids. They like Stegosaurs, so these guys like everyone. We'll go with some Dryos. Yeah, we'll go with some Dryos. Should have really thought about bringing a path off of that somewhere. Could get rid of the two larger amenities and swap them out for smaller ones. It should allow me to get a path in the middle. The medium one would fit better there. Our mediums work there as well, so we'll go with mediums. Keep pressing the wrong buttons. Control scheme's a bit wonky in this game. Mediums, yeah. Oh, it didn't even drop it down, it must have gone red just at the last minute. I should be able to branch a path off of either side of this. Which will allow me to also place in your visual towers and stuff over here. Let's actually get one of those in now. We'll go for this one. Let's put it as close to the water as I possibly can. So, because we'll also get a viewing platform over in this area as well. Oh, there, that works. And then we'll decorate that path, make it clear that they're going to a herbivore exhibit. Whereabouts does that end? Ends down here. A lot of herbivores would have had almost like a plains-esque habitat. So we'll do this part as like a basic plains biome. We've got a little river here that we can forest either side of. Should allow them to settle in nicely to that enclosure. Only problem with the enclosure itself is it is quite large, but that's fine. Hopefully we'll be able to fill it out with all of the eggs that's currently in the hatchery. Place that there. And then I want to bring a path off of here. And we'll use this as our... Where's it gone? No, it's the Expedition Centre, Staff Centre, Response Facility. There we go. And hopefully we'll be able to fit a medical centre in here as well. Oh god, it's a bit big. Maybe not. We'll go for an additional ranger team because they're always useful. And we'll do the automatic resupply as well because that keeps that in check. I can't change ranger team skins and I can't change that, okay. I'm also going to stick a few of the other main buildings behind here as well. it's a very Lost World-esque. It's a little bit better. We'll go with this one. Just to make it look a bit more professional, all of this stuff does happen behind the scenes in an actual wildlife park, so you would have sort of the main visitor entrance blocked off, other than obviously the visiting point. And then you would have all of your facilities behind the main park itself, preferably blocked off, so we will make a little bit of almost a concrete wall that goes around from here. Just so that we are trying to abide by the realism, even if it's just slightly, I suppose. Doesn't help if it is that I've done my path a bit of a weird shape. In fact, we will put it that far out because then we can decorate this space here. And I don't need to fill out the inside of this with a concrete wall, because the rest of what's visible is what would be visible to a person in an actual, almost a zoo type scenario. I will just go ahead and block this part here off as well. And hope that this doesn't affect my frame rate in any way, shape or form. Brachiosaurs. We can release those via the airlift straight in here.
En route to collect the asset.
Not going for any specific heavy hitters just yet.
Heading to collect the asset.
When we expand outwards, eventually we're going to get rid of this hatchery anyways. But once we've expanded the park out, we will add in your bigger ticket animals almost, so T-Rex, Velociraptors, maybe even a hybrid or two if we can get one of those in. Dryos.
No problem. Task received. Confirming task.
Oh, apparently I had more of Dryos than I thought I did. So that should be those guys all going into there now. Got the gate there, so we'll put a second viewing area. In fact, we won't. What we'll do is we'll make a gyro station. Hope I'm saying that correctly. Get as close to this as we can get it, I suppose. We'll put it here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome an Edmontosaurus to the park.
Got an achievement for that, apparently.
Asset transportation in progress.
If I try and get them to go over that, will it let me? Not really. So that would have to be the end of that path. Ah. I also need to move it out of the way of the monorail as well.
Pleased to welcome an Edmontosaurus to the park.
Just need to move it over ever so slightly. That should be good enough.
Asset transportation underway. Delivery has been completed.
Interesting. An Edmontosaurus. This is an herbivore that can move on all 4 feet or go upright and walk on its hindquarters. We should be able to control and monitor this species more easily than some of the others. Use that to your advantage as you plan out the park.
It's going to be obstructed by
Asset
that, so
transported.
need to wait until that dinosaur gets delivered. So we can sneak it upwards ever so slightly.
Asset has been collected.
Instead, let's go right up past the riverbed, sort of sticking along the ridge.
Asset has been transported.
I need to wait on those guys moving there. So
Asset transportation underway.
we'll have it run down this way, and
Transportation
probably across
completed.
that, around there, and then join on there. Should work. Let's just skip ahead time quickly, get rid of all the
Commencing asset transit.
transport beacons.
Asset transportation complete. Transporting asset.
Oh, we got some decent skins out of those.
Asset has been delivered.
What skins did we get for the brachiosaurs, wherever they are? Colourful.
We are pleased to welcome a Parasaurolophus to the park.
Paras are coming
Transit
in.
has commenced.
He's quite a
Delivery complete.
bland para, but this one's quite colourful. Okay, so these guys need a bit of ground fibre, we can put that in. We seem to be making the
Asset delivery confirmed.
home this area here, so we'll add it in over here. That way we're not disturbing any of the others and their territory hunts. That should be good enough for them now. What do these guys need?
Asset
Forest and tall
transportation
nut.
in progress.
I suppose we could add a bit
Delivery
of
has
forest
been
into that.
completed.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Don't really want to
we
add
are pleased to
too
welcome
much
a
foresting
Parasaurolophus to the
around
park.
the viewing platforms
Asset
really, but
transported. Transportation complete. Asset in transit.
This area's kind of out of sight, so we could fill that up a little bit.
Assets in the air. Asset delivered.
They also like tall nut.
Asset in transit.
So they're going to want some of this as well. In fact, we'll get rid of that, because I imagine they'll make their way over
Confirming asset
towards
delivery.
the forest over here eventually. They do like to wander.
Asset
A lot of tall
transportation in
nuts, so we'll
progress.
get rid of all of this forest here. Swap it out
Asset
for
has been transported.
this stuff.
Commencing asset transit. Asset transportation complete. Asset has been collected. Asset transported. Transit has commenced.
Probably will need to add some more forest into this bit anyway, so we will go ahead and do that. They will
Asset has been
eventually
delivered.
make their way over here.
We know this animal's primary habitat was the ancient primordial forest that once covered this planet. It's called Dryosaurus. Before our research, there was no information on adult specimens of this dinosaur. We only had the fossilized record of juveniles. But now, that's all changed.
Those guys are happy. Cool. Struthios, are they happy? They need a bit of ground leaf, that's fine, we can sort that. Kind of made this their area so they can stay in that. Don't want to name it. Where are the Edmontosauruses?
Delivery has been completed.
They need a bit more ground fibre, so we'll sort that out for them.
Asset being
Put it
transported.
along the riverbed, because they seem to be quite content around there. Dryosaurs, the only other one I can
Asset
think of that
transportation
we've got in
complete.
here, right? Done them, done Paras, Dryo. These guys need ground leaf, but there's plenty up there, so they will eventually just make their way over. So I'm gonna run it along the edge here. Need to straighten it out a little bit more. Should do it. Don't like the way it's connecting there, so we will just get rid of that.
Transportation underway.
Hop. So this should be open now. I should be able to go around there. Should be enough room as well for them to go through and do all that stuff, so... I apparently can't drive these things to save my life. Yeah. Do they see enough of the dinosaurs though? you see plenty. Yeah, perfect, that's fine. Yeah, great, cool. So that's that sorted. Now let's go back onto the monorail path here. Because this is going to go through the actual habitat itself. To give people a little bit more of a view. And then we'll just curl it
Delivery
this way,
complete.
like that. I mean, I know I said the enclosure was huge, but actually it's not taken up as much space as I thought it was going to. Got the gyrosphere track, got the plains area, got a forested area. Is that enough forest for these guys yet? Have they discovered that? They haven't. I suppose I could add a bit more forest over this way. A touch over here as well. And now they're missing tall nut again. Jesus. Guys, there's no need for this. That should be good. We'll stick it like that. We'll go back and decorate that a little bit later on once they've all established their territories, so to speak. Now, how do I want to work this? Do I stick something else here, going this way, have it as like possibly a secondary herbivore attraction? Because I could bring the path up this way and round. We could have a secondary enclosure over this area here, and once this is gone, we'll expand it. Let's quickly path round. Let's get that close to that, so we will do. And let's just curve it around here. Want to have the path follow the actual enclosure around as well, so we'll do that first, just so we know how close everything is. We can let them get a little bit closer to these guys, so we will. Wish I had the same tools as a PC user. Would make this a lot easier. That's as far as we'll go with that path there. Let's have a look at the minimum population for, let's say, Stego. think it's 4. Yeah, no, it's 4. And these guys can share with Pachycephalosauruses and sauropods. But they can't share with other ceratopsids. So we could do Stygimoloch. And galleys, could put some galleys in there as well. I do have Pachycephalosauruses. Yeah, so we'll do Stego, and then we'll do Patchies and galleys. Do galleys like the Patchies? Doesn't say that they don't. Where are the Patchies? Let's have a look. I mean, it doesn't say that they don't like them either, so... We'll do Stegos and we'll do Patchies. Oh, I didn't want to do that. No, we'll go through and modify the genome here and then we'll just cancel the others. I wanted to make the skins random. Just so there's a bit of a difference in what we see. Should we go for 6? We'll go for 6. Let's make sure they all have different-ish skins. Yeah, they do. Begin. Yeah, we'll do that one as well. Right, so... I think we actually attach the fence to this already existing because we will just knock that out and use that once the others have gone. I don't think that they need too much space, but we will give them a fairly decent sized enclosure anywho. I will just include up to this concrete part here. And then once we do get rid of the hatchery that's there, we can just delete these and change that around. So that should be good.
Picking up asset. Asset requiring collection. Confirmed. Request acknowledged.
And while they're being airlifted in, we will create a water source. Forest off this area here.
Assets in the air. transportation complete.
This is the Pachycephalosaurus, or thick-headed lizard in Greek, which is where it gets its name. Claire has accused me of being this dinosaur more than a few times. It's also an herbivore, so obviously she couldn't be more wrong. About me, I mean.
Thanks for that, Chris. Where is it? There it is. Let's see what this dude actually likes.
Asset has been
Of course he's
delivered.
lonely, that's fine. What does he need? Bit of ground life. And he's good to go. He's got enough area. Although it is almost in the red, so I wonder if we'll have to expand this regardless. Go ahead and put in their food, which is ground life.
Asset transported. Asset transportation underway. Confirming asset delivery. Transporting asset.
Oh, yeah, of course, if he's expanding his area will increase with it.
Commencing asset transit.
God, I feel dumb. So maybe the stegos won't impact that as much as I originally thought they would.
Asset delivery confirmed. Transit has commenced. Asset transportation complete.
There's the first of the stegos. Let's see what these guys need.
Asset has been collected.
Ah, yeah, they've got plenty of area there as well. They need fruit nut, forest, which he's gonna get, ground fibre, ground fruit,
Transportation underway.
ground fruit, ground fibre.
Asset has been transported. Asset in transit. Delivery has been completed. Asset transportation in progress. Confirming asset delivery.
They do need a little bit more space. There we go. They should be relatively happy now. Population 5, they've got enough area. Yeah, everything's fine with those guys. So that is the second one in place. What viewing platform would look better here? Maybe a viewing gallery would be better. A viewing gallery would be better. So put one there. And then we'll put one on the other side. There. The path will snake off this way as well. Just stop that there. So that is 2 enclosures we've got there. Monorail isn't yet up and running. What I do want to do is edit the track. Come down this area here. That. Then that. And then what we'll do is we'll run it through here. Like so. Like that. That'll do.
ライツ・フィロソフィアへようこそ。素晴らしい。
I'll go for a similar thing in here. In this little area here, and I'll make a Triceratops habitat. And thankfully Triceratops like other ceratopsids. So we can put in things like your Styracosaurus, your Torosaurus. All of these only need 2, I believe. 2. They need 3. They need 2. They need 2. Triceratops only need 2. No, Ceratops only need 2, yeah. So most of the ceratopsids only need 2 for a minimum. Modify the genome, let's... some normal patterns in. Well, we'll get some random patterns in. Do they have any... they do have a combat debuff, so we'll change that out. Let's go for... go for Sinoceratops. Yeah, wait, do these guys also like... they also like ankylosaurids, so we'll put some of those in as well. Modify that. Make it so that they will all have random patterns and random colours. And then we'll get one more ceratopsid in there. Go for Nociceratops. That way we've got 3 quite different looking ceratopsids within that enclosure. They have no debuffs. And then, let's have a look. Should we get an ankylosaur? might as well. I mean, they are the original. So we're going to change that to those. Get rid of the needy status, get rid of the antisocial status. Begin those guys. I didn't see how many they need. They just need a minimum population of 1, so they're fairly easy to look after. Let's also go for... Let's go for a sauropelter. So these guys need 2. Let's have a look at what skins we've got. Rana, Gamba, Bizzo, Rana, Amazonian Fern Forest, Rana. Oh, these guys have a good buff. We'll go for him. We'll take that one off. In fact, we'll do that one and then we'll have the original pattern trike. Definitely have the mangrove forest. Go for the docile. And yeah, we'll go for social. We want mangrove forest. We'll get that one. We'll get that one as well. Might as well. Sonoran Desert and Champlain Valley, we'll go for those 2. We'll go for those guys. And then what we can do is in this area here, oh, we do need a gate for this one. Should have thought about that as well. Just need a simple gate. We'll put it there. Right, let's go and place. You kind of want to, especially when park building on many games, you kind of want to go for a waste no space type approach. So we'll be trying our best to keep as much space as we possibly can. Do we go all the way out? I don't think we do. I think we stop it about there. We'll curl it around a little bit. I suppose you won't need too much of a run actually. Should be enough space there for them. Which means we can use this space over here for something else. Like a viewing platform or something maybe. But that should be good enough for those guys. What we'll do is we'll shift a gate in over here somewhere. And I think what I'll do is to break it up a little bit, I'll go for another guest attraction section over here. Add in a second monorail station, do all the path stuff over here. Create a area where the guests can shop, eat, sleep, drink, that type of thing. We'll also stick a restroom down here because that's something I completely forgot about. And I suppose we should probably go on the safe side and build an emergency bunker as well. But the main gist of it, I should probably block all this off here as well. We don't really want the guests seeing that. Which standard path is it being blocked by? Like, realistically, we don't want any guests to be able to see much of the park, if any. So anything sort of that would be classed as behind the scenes, we want to, well, keep behind the scenes. Like here, for example, is going to be not so much of an issue, but it's definitely... So we realistically we want guests to come from the arrival point, come down here and straight through into here. Obviously I know that's how it's going to work anyways, because there's nothing for the guests in these areas here, so they won't necessarily go down them. And then obviously they can either go through any, like the innovation centre, through any of these entrances. And then once they come out of the front here, they're faced with two different skeletons, just to add a bit of decoration. And as they come down here, they're going to have all the shops, the arcades and stuff like that, and then you've got your hotels on the left and right, monorail station, which is going to take you to the rest of the park. But from here, you can't, well, maybe as an 8-foot tall camera, which is what this is currently is. Can we go into a photo mode, capture mode? Can we go further down? There. Let's get ourselves lined up like... Okay. So we're lined up with a door there, so we're about 6 foot. If we come here, we can't see anything that's happening beyond those walls. And then same thing from over here. Other than this building here, which is quite visible at the minute. But coming down here, we'd only be able to see that and the helicopter. I mean, even this is probably too big. Like, probably too tall. You'd probably be looking about this. So, only thing visible through that is this little cut off here where the path is. The helicopter above. You can't really see any of that other than the very top. You bring it through, you bring it round, you've got all the decor, making it a nice little place, and then you've got all this. You can't see anything beyond there. If we come around here, you shouldn't be able to see the hatchery other than through these little areas here. So realistically, it's quite an accurate park. Let's finish off this. In fact, let's put these guys in here so we know what they're all wanting.
En route to pick up the asset. the asset. Heading to collect the asset. Assets in the air. No problem. Setting additional task. Asset has been delivered. Asset being transported. Task received. Understood.
Then we'll just speed through that.
In the air.
And while they're doing that, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and edit these buildings here.
Asset
So
transportation underway.
we'll go for... You know what, we'll go for a burger and fries place.
Ladies and gentlemen,
On the inside we'll have bench seating,
to the park.
little
Right.
arcade.
The Sinoceratops, an herbivore that shares many traits with its more famous cousin, the Triceratops. This is a
Fish tank.
docile animal that you could make into a solid favorite with a little effort.
An aquarium
Of
at the
course,
same
we're all
time.
expecting more than a little
Ice
effort,
cream
but
machine,
I'm
as
sure
you
you
do.
get what I mean.
Go for photo booth, a play zone, and let's do a fountain.
We are
Transportation complete.
And then we'll change this up a little bit. Type of style.
Transportation underway.
Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Jurassic panels. I'll go with the panels, I like that. Oh, actually, no, let's change it first.
to the park.
Delivery has been completed.
Go for wood.
Do you see any resemblance between the Nasutoceratops and modern-day cattle? Look closely at the horns and their relation to the eyes.
Go for that.
It's clear to me that as we bring these animals back to life, the connections between the past and the present sharpen, and along with it, our understanding. This is what my science is all about.
Seating with a canopy or seating with seating with plants. Large trees and planters.
Asset has been transported.
They call this the Ankylosaurus. I call it an armored ball of walking, breathing trouble. Still, some might call it charming, amusing.
We'll go for the
delightful.
fountain one.
Each to their
We'll
own.
have the burger sign. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it mimic a real world restaurant.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Sorapelta to the
Asset delivery confirmed.
I mean, where I come from,
Interested
McDonald's
in a
is,
dinosaur with an extremely long tail?
well,
Then this dinosaur is for you. It's
usually
called
cream and
the
green now, but
Sauropelta. Covered in bony armor, it has long spines projecting from its neck. All that being said, it is a relatively calm animal when placed in the right environment.
we'll do that. So we've got a burgers and fries joint now, which is obviously meant to be McDonald's. We'll change this to a drinks place. And we will make it a connoisseur coffee. We'll stick in a few different things. We'll go for a claw machine in there. No, we'll have a dance machine. We'll go for an entertainer. In fact, charity boxes. We'll do couches. Infotainment, play area, and a jukebox. And then we'll change these around. So we'll keep it with the panels because I like that. We'll change that to the wood. Watch door have I got on that side? The middle one. Keep it with the middle then. And we'll take it off to the right there as well. Seating with plants, yeah. Go to. Yeah, we'll keep that. And we want. for like a creamish look. Then the secondary we're going to make a dark green. The roof we're also going to make dark green. All the decorations are going to be dark green. I wonder if we just make this a grey. Yeah, grey works better. So that's obviously meant to be a mimic of Starbucks. In fact, you know what, we'll go ahead and change the names as well. And then we'll change both of these to shopping. And then we'll see what we can do here. So we'll configure it. And let's make this one a library type scenario. We'll have an aquarium in there. Digital ordering. Extra shelves. Infotainment. Display cabinet, sure. Let's go for wood with stairs. Oh, something's got low health. Yeah, we'll go for that. We'll stick with the medium. We'll keep these in the middle. Seating with plants, we'll keep that as that. We'll go for this. And then have the box like so. And we'll just leave those as they are. What's got low health? Why has it got low health? What's going on? Oh, right, so they don't like Sinceratops, but they like Ceratopsids. Okay. What are you? You're a trike. You're a trike. You're a trike. Why have all the trikes got low health? Has this one Sinceratops been battling with all the trikes? Okay, well, add task, take out that one. Oh, you're a Sinceratops as well. You're a Narcisseratops. You're a Narcisseratops. You're a trike. No, you're a whatever you are. Sinceratops number 3. And it died because it starved to death. I thought I turned hunger off. Why is hunger still on? Turned that off for a reason. Oh, of course. I didn't turn it off, I'm just fucking stupid. Lol. Right, well. Time to get more Triceratops.
Commencing asset transit. Asset being transported. Asset transportation in progress.
this one die as well? It did. Oof.
Heading to pick up the asset.
It's not looking good. These guys need ground leaf and ground fruit. You guys need more ground leaf and ground fruit.
Asset has been collected.
That was a big error on my part. I must have actually forgot to turn Do Not Starve and stuff like that off, which is annoying, but we'll sort that out. We'll get you to come and give these guys a booster shot. Just to help them heal. We will go and create some more trickler plots. Not really what I wanted to be doing, but there you go. Select eggs, let's have a look. Social, go for you. Go for you. And go for you, why not? You go do that. Do you really not have enough water?
En route to pick up the asset.
Let's ignore the fact that those guys were practically dead. Well, I mean, let's ignore the fact that those guys were dead. You guys are cohabitating with too many people. You guys don't become dinosaurs. Why are they picky with which ones they like and which ones they don't?
Transporting asset.
Why like some ankylosaurids but not others? Tranquilize you. No, you're not. Where's the other Nociceratops gone? Tranquilize you, tranquilize you. We'll push some of you guys in instead, because these guys seem like they like the others, I suppose. We don't have any negative traits. Cool. We'll put you guys in.
Transit has commenced.
No, you've not even tranquilized them yet. What are you doing? What are you playing at?
Asset transported. Assets in the air.
What are you panicking for? You lonely? No idea.
En route to collect the asset. Delivery complete. Commencing asset transit. Transportation underway. Asset has been collected.
Again, I'm gonna use the paths just to snake almost as an outline around the enclosures.
Transit has commenced.
That way, I've got no way of putting them pretty much side by side with one another. What we'll do though is create a second viewing gallery here.
We are pleased to welcome the Chasmosaurus to the park.
Confirming asset delivery.
Talk about the opposite of subtle. And I don't mean Owen. No, this is the Chasmosaurus. It has dynamic coloring and these large openings, called fenestrae, in a frill that rises above its head. This is a dinosaur that says, "Look at me." So, maybe a little like Owen.
You need more forest, but you've not actually expanded your territory into any yet. You also need more open space, which again, you haven't actually expanded your territory in. So, for the time being, you can shut up. Right, let's have a look.
Asset
Let's go
transportation
ahead and
underway.
create another luxury main through fair. I don't want to create it from. I think here. In fact, let's have it go in the other way.
Asset delivered.
Gonna need another monorail station wherever those are. Are they in guests? They are, there they are. And we will just connect this up to this path anyway. Okay, so that's 2 segments of that done. This is gonna be, I think, the main. Well, obviously this is the main entrance, but this will be probably one of the main parts to the park. The paths will also provide views of the dinosaurs. I've locked off most of the areas here that would be blocked off to the public. Do I need to block this part off? No, probably not. Or not yet, at least. Don't actually think I'll have enough space here to put anything else anywhere. So I could just corner this off and block that there. I suppose I don't actually need to, so it should be fine. Again, want to block that off so no one else can see what's there. In this little area though, we can probably get away with doing something for the guests. Even if it's just like a viewing platform here, like a viewing gallery. And maybe a restroom? Just build it out like that, and then down like that. Could probably put a few little bits in here. Let's go to the guests, let's have a look. Small amenity. Ah, we can put a small one in. And fit one at the other side as well. Can. Like so. And then probably a restroom somewhere in the midst of this. Yeah, we can fit a restroom down there. And then I wonder if we'd actually be able to fit a shelter over here as well. No. It's going to be a no-go. That's fine. So a little bit of an extra shopping place for the guests just there. In fact, I suppose what I could do is get rid of this path in the middle. Move this building right over so it's pretty much next to that. Then, or would it be easier to move this one over this way? Because then this might actually grant us enough room to place in a bunker. Which it does. See, I am a genius. I'm not, wish I was. And then we'll just connect that straight up to there like that. So there's a little bit of an extra place for the guests there, which overlooks this pen here. Don't know how good the view is from this, but we can have a look. Oh yeah, you can still see everything, that's fine. So look, of these guys, Chasmosaurus, they sit in well. They have no issues with any of the things that they're cohabiting with, so that's fine. think I might just call that here. We're at the 2.5 hour mark now, and it's taken me this long to get this part here sorted, along with these 3 enclosures, so I might call it here, go and make some food, because where I am at the moment it is getting quite close to tea time, so by the time it actually comes over, should be able to just jump in. Once I've finished cooking, obviously. Let's add a little bit of contour to some of these while we're here, actually. Make it so it's not just one. Flat area. Nothing worse than having no sort of sense of texture in your park. And then I may end up hopping back on to do a little bit more of this later on. Yeah, I think that gives it enough texture. Need a bit of texture in here as well, so we'll go ahead and put a few of these different contours in. Try and make it somewhat uniform though, because although the world works in mysterious ways, geography patterns do not. Yeah, that'll do. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the stream here. This will be uploaded to YouTube as one of what I'm going to imagine will be several different parts at this point. Because that's not even a quarter of the map. And that's already taken us 2.5 hours. So next time round we'll focus on this strip here, which will give us a bit more of a shopping district and stuff for the guests. And then lead us into what I'm going to make as the start of a carnivore habitat. Maybe do an aviary over here somewhere. Or even a lagoon here, which will cover this area. Then stick over with a carnivore to this section here. Probably towards the end of here actually we'll go as far as this from where this ends. We'll stick that as a carnivore habituation area. We'll get a lagoon somewhere in the middle, or multiple lagoons in the middle, and have a sort of nice area for those guys to hang around and chill. Because I think there's a fair few different marine animals in this one. We'll also get an aviary somewhere. It's probably going to be down here, using sort of this shaded area as our outline for the aviary. I don't know how many of the birds can actually cohabitate with each other, so that may end up changing, or may end up becoming multiple different aviaries, but that is going to be us. Thank you to anyone who did tune in, and we'll, like I say, upload this to YouTube, and then hopefully by the next time you see me we'll be able to do a fair bit more of this. Quite enjoyed it, to be completely honest. Not my usual style of gameplay, so it's a bit out of the depths. We do need to add a bit more of a realism to these two enclosures here, so terrain, watering, even down to like forested, rocky areas, that type of thing. So we will get into those, especially with this big one here. We also need to add a bit of decoration down here. I know we've got sort of the shops and stuff, but we can always add decorations. I believe we can actually add decorations on the path, which we can. So we should be adding some decorations at least on the path. Maybe even going as far as like a... That's not going to work. As far as one of these, somewhere along the line. We can always add in stuff like this to separate the path. So there's plenty we can be doing, which we will eventually get onto. We'll need to add bins and stuff around the park as well. Like I say, we are going for a more realistic view of how everything would have been, or should be in a animal park. We'll put that there actually. I like that. And we'll start swapping stuff around, making signage, even going as far as to maybe add some of these going all the way down towards the main area, getting a bit more character to the park, we'll say. But yeah, like I say, that's going to be us for today. We will just save, and we'll call that our stream save, so I know not to do anything else on it until we're back here. And then that is going to be us, and I'll catch you all on the next one. See yous later.